this is Liz and Sarah, and welcome back to the virtual Soil Health Mom. We're here with Daniel Geisseler, and he is going to introduce himself. Go ahead, Daniel.
Okay, thank you very much for having me. I'm a University of California Cooperative Extension specialist at UC Davis. The focus of my research and outreach is on nutrient management, and currently most of my projects deal with nitrogen management in agricultural systems, mainly annual crops, because with regulations, growers now have to report how much nitrogen fertilizer they add and how much is removed from the field. So there are a lot of questions now, and we try to help answer some of these questions.
That is awesome. So as the nutrient management specialist at UC Cooperative Extension, what does the term soil health mean to you?
So I think a common definition of soil health, and I think it's a good definition, is soil health is the capacity of the soil to function as a living system. And I think that captures it very well, because there are so many organisms in the soils and the plants grow on soil. So it's really a lot of life, and to put that front and center, that's important. And especially microorganisms, but all organisms do very important functions in the soil, and we depend on these functions. And so healthy soil should provide a healthy environment for these organisms and the plants, and ultimately help us produce healthy food and fibers for us and for animals. So, but kind of seeing the soil as a healthy or a living system, I think that's an important component of soil health.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, Daniel. Along those lines, can you talk a little bit more about the intersection between the nutrient calculators that you've developed and soil health?
So we are working on nitrogen calculators, where we determine how much, based on an expected yield, how much nitrogen do the plants have to take up, and then how much is provided by non-fertilizer sources to calculate how much nitrogen do we actually have to apply with fertilizer. And non-fertilizer sources, that can be residual nitrate in the soil, nitrate of the irrigation water, but also very important, how much nitrogen is supplied by the soil during the season. And nitrogen is supplied by the soil, or mainly by soil microorganisms, when they decompose soil organic matter, organic amendments that were added, or crop and cover crop residues. So when they are decomposed, some nitrogen is released, so we talk about nitrogen mineralization, and becomes plant available. And that's looking at nitrogen mineralization from different sources. That is part of my program. And soil fertility is an important component of soil health. So that's kind of where the two are connected. It's a part of the whole of soil health, because it is, many of these processes are done by the microorganisms and other organisms that live in the soil.
Right. Yeah. No, and I really like that work that you're working on. I like seeing the results from it. I think they're very useful. Along those lines, in the knowledge base that we currently have, what do you think is missing with regards to building soil health and managing nutrients more efficiently, and that sort of intersection for really the application for growers on farms?
I think with soil health, we have a good understanding how we can improve soil health. We know, or it's generally accepted, that soil organic matter plays an important role in soil health, that soil organic matter has so many positive effects on soil properties, and management practices that improve soil organic matter generally also improve soil health. So we know that applying organic amendments or growing cover crops or reduced tillage can improve soil health. But I think where it gets trickier is to quantify what will be the effects, because all of that is really affected by climate and by soil properties. So to know, especially in the short term, what is the effect of these management practices, and especially when growers ask, so what does it mean for me? That's probably still a really hard question to answer. We have some tools to measure soil health, but interpreting the results and say, okay, that's really what's happening, and that's what the grower will observe, especially when the initially, when the first few years, when the changes are still small. That's a challenge still.
Right.